what's the difference between coaching, grown men who are 22 to 30 something versus coaching high school kids and college kids? Like, what's the biggest difference?
Just the way you talk to players. In the NFL, I mean, in college, you can pretty much they're kids. Like, they are your kids, so you can pretty much, I can talk to my son, hey, man, you need to get, in the pros, you can't do that. You paying a guy, $3, $4, $10 million. There ain't nothing you can tell him.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, and as a head football coach in the National Football League, you need to understand that. You need to understand what the temperature in the room is. I mean, it's cool to be a cool coach, but you have to understand the temperature in the room. You can't talk to a grown man any type of way. Yeah. That's what happened to the dude that was that just left.
Urban Meyer.
Urban Myers. You think he's still in college, bro?
Yeah.
You can't do that. And then you lying about you're supposed to be doing something else, and they got video of you with your girlfriend and all this shit. They not gonna respect you for that. I knew when I saw that he had lost the team. So that's the difference right there, Tony. The way you handle it. You can't handle NFL football players.
Yeah, because these NFL players, they're already talented. You're not going to teach them something they don't know.
Yeah.
I guess you're just managing personalities.
Yeah, pretty much you're managing horses. Thoroughbreds.
They already know what to do. You just got to tell them what place to go and do.
And 99.9% of the time, all the players are making more money than any coach. Yeah. So that has. And a lot of people say you can't factor in the money. Yeah, that's bullshit. Yeah, you can. You have to factor the money in. Because if I'm making $15, $18, $20 million a year, like what these cats are doing right now, I respect you as a coach, but there ain't too much shit you can tell me or coach me. You just come up with your playbook and customize your playbook and put your players together, and let's go out here and see, can we execute your shit out here on the football field? That's basically what it is.
I've got this card of yours. I'm going to read you something you said back in 92 or 91. All right. If I wasn't playing football, I'd have my own business. I'm real business smart. For example, I'm about to open my own restaurant. I went to LSU and I was real fascinated with the Cajun heritage. Now I love Cajun food, and I figured that I would bring it to Kansas City and it would do really well. My favorite is alligator sausage and crayfish. I'm the kind of guy who likes to do things differently. I don't like to do things that other people think I'm going to do. What was that all about?
Man, that was a young kid that didn't do his homework and thought that he could conquer the world. Thought he was smart. Instead of doing his what's the word? Due diligence.
Okay.
Doing your homework, getting the right people around you to even attempt to pull something like that off. I was too arrogant and too cocky, and that's what I tried to do. And I had a roommate at LSU that walked on to LSU, made the team, and his family owned like three the most famous Cajun restaurants at that time in Louisiana. They're called Mulots, and it's my roommate, so I know he know what to do because he's in the family business. Mm-hmm. And bro, I went and we gonna do this after I get drafted. We gonna bring this culture to whatever city we in. It's gonna be a hit. And that's what I did. And then it was a hit for a minute until I went to training camp. And I come back, before I left, you couldn't even get in to my restaurant because, the city went crazy and it's Cajun food and, andouille sausages and the gumbo and the flavor. And I spent, we spent a lot of money to bring that whole, that lifestyle, which Cajun cuisine, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And we bought the whole thing. It was authentic, the whole nine. I just had my roommate wasn't ready for that success, man. I come back from training camp. He was snorting cocaine and he's a white dude, and he ended up started dating this black chick, and I knew it was over with then. He was I couldn't talk to him, and we ended up getting into a physical fight, man. I ended up losing $400,000, almost $500,000.
Jeez.
In that venture.
How long did that restaurant last?
About 6 months. Grand
6 months.
Grand opening, grand closing, bro.
Wow.
Yeah. And that killed me. It hurt me. It really did. And he just didn't leave. I mean, I physically had to put hands on him, but he ended up catching a flight that same day or the next day. His mama brought him back to Louisiana. Now I'm playing football. This is my first year, my second year in the league. And now I got a restaurant, and the rent was I think $20,000, $30,000 a month.
God.
And then my dumb ass, excuse my language, end up putting some money in escrow saying if I'm not here 2 years later, you can take that $100,000. And when I said I was closing it, man, the next day the dude took the $100,000 out.
Wow.
On top of, I'm saying $400, it was like $500,000 that I lost on that, man. And that set me back a long way, bro. Instead of me concentrating on my football career and in this company right here, which is to play football, I'm thinking that I could, run a restaurant business. Man. I should have sold hot dogs or some shit like that, bro. Something that barbecue.
So you went in thinking that your buddy's experience and success with his family's restaurant, you could just bring that to Kansas City and it'll just pick up where he has in Louisiana, but didn't turn out that way because
he wasn't his mother or
he
his
wasn't
father.
his mother.
He wasn't his mom or his father, and just got caught up, bro. It's one of the life lessons that I've learned, and I learned that quick, man, and just pissed off $500,000 just that fast, bro. And when I tell you that set me back, shit, but my second year, bro, I didn't have no money. I was almost broke, man, at that time, if you think about it. Because I was only my first year, my second, I got $1 million, $2 million signing bonus, $1 million signing bonus. And you don't get that all up front. They prorate it and, you get it down the further down the line and taxes and So so
you losing $500,000.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
That's a big chunk of
real bad.
What you got. You want me to
Life
put this card somewhere where you'll never see it again?
I saw that, when you pulled it out, I almost started crying. Yeah.
So you had 4 coaches with the Raiders. Was that hard to get some sort of routine going? Like, is it because of failed seasons? Why did they keep getting rid of these coaches?
I think Al, he looked at different coaches and saying that, the thing with Al mostly wanted before he died was to win another Super Bowl. And you think that, all the success that they had in the early 70s, he was trying to duplicate that. And you get to the point where you get so carried away, okay, this guy can get me to the promised land. No, this didn't work. This guy right here can get me to the promised land. So, I went through 4 different coaches, or maybe 4 different coaches. You got to think 4 different guys got 4 different philosophies. And the football team is just like, when you talking about, and I'm talking about, a lot of people think football players are stupid and dumb. That's not true, bro.
Yeah.
Our playbooks are this thick. You got 2,000, 25, 3,000 plays. And I'm talking about X's and O's and audibles, and you have to know all that. And you think about that. Somebody bring in the gospel, the new Bible.
Every year.
You can't win like that. Can't win.
Not only is it a new playbook, it's a new person to listen to.
Yes.
You got new personnel. He's got new assistant coaches, new defensive coordinators.
Exactly.
Everything's different.
Every
year.
Every year.
Gosh.
Every year. You can't win. There's no way you can win.
Do you remember those 4 coaches?
Art Shell, Mike White, Joe Bugle, John Gruden.
John Gruden. You got any good John Gruden stories?
And I loved all of them.
He loved all of them.
I thought all of them. I loved Art Shell, first black, coach was Raiders. It was stud. I thought he got railroaded. They should have kept him. That was my first year there. Mike White was cool. Thought he was a great coach. Should have stayed an assistant. Wasn't a head coach. Joe Bugle was. I don't know if you go back. He's the originator with the Redskins, the Hogs up front with John Riggins and all them dudes back in the day. He came up with that philosophy with pulling and kicking out and turning up and the counter Trey-O and all that. He came up with that. And John Gruden is probably one of the smartest cats I've ever been around.
Yeah.
And Chucky, I called him Chucky. I'm the one who gave him the nickname Chucky.
Chucky.
Chucky the doll.
Uh-huh.
And every time we run a play, I'd turn around and he'd have that scowl on his face. I'm like, well, you look just like that ugly ass doll in the movies I used to watch when I was young. Everybody started laughing and everybody started calling him Chuck.
Wow.
Yeah, and it stuck with him. And he loved it too.
Yeah.
He was on I think it was David Letterman. One night he was interviewing and David Letterman asked him, say, man, where'd you get the name Chucky from? He said, one of my players, Harvey Williams, gave me that name.
Wow.
And it just stuck. And when I saw him, I said, bro, you need to give me a check for all them Chucky dolls that, he's signing and different things like that. But he was a cool dude. Very, very smart. Yeah. Sad what happened to him. He's not a racist dude.
No,
that's
crazy,
not at
man.
all, man. Good dude. He really is.
Al Davis, what was that like being part of a team he owned?
Man, exciting. Was all about helping his players, former players. Gave me a second chance. because what happened to me in Kansas City was tragic. I was, and he took me and I was one of his own. Even to this day, I still, they still fly me out there. But Al Davis is probably one of the greatest owners of all time, man. He's I know he's in heaven because he helped a whole lot of players.
Yeah.
That didn't have money. He gave jobs to different things like that. He was a really good dude. He was a hell of a football coach and owner, and he was way ahead of his time. It just to sit and talk X's and O's with him was incredible.
Really?
Yeah, just to go in his office, you walk in his office, you hear that, ah! He's sitting at the other end with all that white on or all black on, and you walking, going to sit down, and we would talk for hours, man. But he really, really wanted to win another Super Bowl before he died. He didn't get that chance.
How uncommon is that for an actual owner to know X's and O's? That's what's going on in the field.
Don't happen.
Right?
Jerry Jones?
Jerry Jones?
The owner of the
Cowboys
has no clue. That's who he's trying to be. Is Al Davis. But there'll never be another Al Davis. You got to understand, Al Davis was a coach first. And I still don't know till this day how he owning the Raiders, but everybody talking about the mafia and all that shit, but I still don't see how he ended up getting the Raiders, but he ended up owning them.
Yeah.
And his son Mark Davis. Has them right now. What they trying to take the team from him right now.
13 players in NFL history have done this, including yourself. What is it?
13 players?
13 players in NFL history have done this.
Is it by position?
It's a pretty incredible stat.
Bro, I didn't even know that. Shit, I don't know. I'm stuck on that one.
Really?
Yeah, what is that?
2 receiving and 2 rushing touchdowns in the same game.
Wow. Really?
13 players have done that.
In history?
In history.
Did not know that, bro. Wow. How'd you find out?
Didn't know that.
Did not know that.
It was a 22-year gap from when you did it and then the player before you did it.
Was Marcus Allen one of those players? No?
22 years was O.J. Simpson and Chuck Foreman.
Wow.
In 75.
Chuck Foreman that was another one of my idols. Vikings, running back, number 44.
Yep.
That was a bad dude. That's why I got my spin move from him.
It's 1997 against San Diego. 4 touchdowns.
And that's the year they had me playing tight end. Our tight end got hurt that year, and Al had success from taking a running back. I think the guy's name was named Dave Casper. He played for the Oilers. I think he was a running back, and he put him at tight end. So he thought that I was fast enough and big enough I could do that, and I ended up doing it. But they didn't really use me that much. And then I think Napoleon got hurt or something. And they was like, and then a couple of other guys got hurt, and they was like, Harvey, get back in the backfield. And I went back to my position, and
that's why you got the 2 rushing ones.
Just went off, mad. I mean, he was paying me, but pissed off that they had me playing that position. But I ended up going back playing running. And then when Gruden got there, he ended up putting me back at my position.
Running back.
Yeah.
It's only happened 4 times since you did it.
Wow, man.
So
that's pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's a stat that
That's cool, man.
Guess that's very cool.
All right, so let's talk about how hard it is to get into the NFL. Okay, this is probably a little bit of a deeper question. So there's 6.5% chance of a high school football player making it to the NCAA. Wow. Okay, so there's 100,000 kids playing high school football. There's 6.5% chance that one of them will go actually play
6%.
6.5% that they will actually play college football. And then there's a 1.5% chance that a college player will make it to the NFL.
Wow.
Okay. There's a 3-year normal average of an NFL person. An NFL player. You played 8 seasons. What would you say was the biggest thing to get you to that 8-year mark? Whether you played 1 season or 8 seasons, you still got there. But to make it 8 full seasons, was it
being smart, man? And when I say being smart, know when to, as a running back, as you running, seeing everything is slowing down. Learn how to get down, get out of bounds, not taking licks, taking licks that you don't have to. I think I was a very, very smart football player.
Yeah.
When it came down, Eric Dickinson told me one time, first thing you need to learn when you get in the league, get 10 and get your ass out of bounds. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Get 10 and get out of bounds. And I took that, man. When I got to Kansas City, Marty wanted me to, run like Christian. and that was like a bulldozer.
Yeah,
and that wasn't my style.
You,
if I tried to run, I would. If I adopted that philosophy, I'd only play like 3 years, like you said, because there's no way physically you can do that. And Christian was 270, so to be able to not take licks and when you get injured, learn how to rehab and come back, not come back too fast, different things like that. So I think and then a lot of ice baths. So and I used to be religious. I was religious when it came to that, getting those ice baths and had a chiropractor, trying to stay limber, stretching. Plus, I was into martial arts too, so being flexible. That helped a lot.
Yeah.
Helped a lot.
Yeah,
helped a lot.
What did OJ say about you?
Oh, this is when he's commentator for NBC, and we were playing against the Broncos, and he was a commentator, and we were playing against the Broncos, and Marty was still, we call Marty ball, 2 yards, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And he put me in the game, and I started doing my thing. They give me the ball. I'm one-on-one. I'm hitting the holes. I'm inside, outside. And at halftime, they had the camera on OJ, and OJ said, "Hey, love those two big guys, but if Kansas City gonna win, they got to put Harvey Williams in the game. They got to keep him in the game. I don't even know why he's sitting on the sideline."
Wow. And so he was talking about Okoye and Ward.
Yeah,
saying that you should be playing.
He should be. Harvey Williams should be starting. I don't know what they doing, but they can't get it done with these other two guys. And right before they went back to the game again, he said, "I'm gonna say it again. The only way Kansas City can win this game, they got to play. They got to play 44. They got to have him in the game."
Was your running style similar to OJ's?
A little bit. I wouldn't. OJ had world class speed, man. And, I ran. Fastest time I ran in 100 was 10.3. I don't know, and he's running in yards. They say he ran a 9.3. I don't know if we had the same type of speed, but OJ could step, bro. If he did beat me, he probably outrun me, beat me by 2 steps. Yeah, it wouldn't be no blowout.
But he wasn't playing at 240, 250,
no,
right?
No,
he was about the same weight as you.
And Herschel Walker could fly. And I ran against Herschel Walker. We was at a NFL Fast Man Combine, and me and him ran against each other. And I blew his ass out. And, Herschel Walker got world-class speed. So,
any players you played with that were just bad locker room presence? Like, when you saw them in the locker room, they just, man, that guy just ruins the vibe.
Percy Snow was like that.
Okay.
Until I ended up getting into a fist fight with his ass and changed all that. He's probably about the only one. But overall, everybody that's, that I played with in the locker rooms, man, be it Kansas City or the Raiders, are pretty cool, pretty laid back, man. It's a fraternity. It really is, because you got to think about it. You going in here, going to war with these guys, year in and year out. You got to have some type of brotherhood, and that's and that's football. That's pretty much what it is. But I think Percy probably the only person that I've been around where a whole football team was scared of him, and just terrified of him. But all that changed though.
Yeah. After the fight.
I had to put them hands on him. But other than that, no, you really don't have, I don't know what it is now when they say they got people, cancer in the locker room.
Yeah.
I never got a chance to experience that, because when I was in my era, you had a guy that was being, in any way trying to hurt the team. He's going to get his ass whipped in the locker room. We was going to handle that. You couldn't have got away with that when the Cowboys were winning their Super Bowls, or some guy that's going to disrupt what we're doing because of selfish reasons. Like Antonio Brown, the shit that he's doing right now, man, he'd be walking around with his face all sucked out because somebody went upside his head. Like the stuff I see that they doing now, that stuff would never be allowed. No, we didn't go for that.
Yeah, because nowadays when stuff like that happens, social media gets a hold of it, and it's everywhere. But back in your time,
was not
something that like that happened, nobody would ever find out but anybody in the team.
Nope. I heard a story that Terrell Owens whooped. There was a guy named for the Jets, Douglas. Remember Big Douglas? They end up they fist fighting, but they fighting butt ass naked. So they say it was ass and nuts all over the place. And I can't imagine 2 grown ass men fist fighting butt ass naked in the locker room. I thought that was funny, but I've heard that story like 2 or 3 times. But back in the day, we'd fight.
What does prime Harvey Williams look like in today's NFL?
Like Kamari for the Saints. That's my game. Marshall Faulk.
Okay.
Marcus Allen. That was my game. My daddy wanted me to be a wide receiver. So I had the combination of size and speed, and I had hands.
You had good hands.
I could catch the ball very, very well. And so that's what my game would look like.
Alvin Kamara.
Kamara out the backfield, split me out wide. I can run inside, outside. Put me in the slot. Yeah, that would be my game.
Who was the biggest trash talker you ever played with or against? Dion?
No, it'd probably be Derrick Thomas.
Derrick Thomas.
Shannon Sharpe.
Oh.
Shannon Sharpe. You see what he did to Derrick Thomas? You never heard that story? I think it was a Monday night game, and Derrick got like 7 penalties on him. Shannon Sharpe had Derrick Thomas's girlfriend's phone number, and during the game, Shannon's trying to block him, and Derrick is having a good game. And Derrick said, Shannon said, man, that's why I slept with your girlfriend. He's like, man, get your ass out of here. And said, Shannon went down to the line and said her number is 75565. Said the number. The exact number.
God.
And Derrick Thomas went crazy. They ended up kicking him out the game. He had like 7 penalties in a row.
Wow.
Yeah. Shannon Sharpe. And that's stuff he used to say against when we used to play against. He would be killing our guys and, take y'all sorry asses home. Derrick was good at trash talking. I'm pretty good at trash talking. Neil Smith is really good.
Wow.
Dion is
no.
He like what they call it, a GP movie. What you call them movies? That's
PG.
He's rated PG. Yeah. Rising was pretty good. Andre Rison's really good.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they got some trash talkers, man.